Groggy, tired, unfocused. If these words describe you on a regular basis, you may want to try the Fight Fatigue Challenge from Studio 5 and Mountain Star Healthcare. No caffeine, no pills, but you don't have to take our word for it. In fact, we recently invited one Studio 5 viewer to undergo a doctor-prescribed energy makeover to see if it was really possible to get a boost with only a few lifestyle adjustments. Take a look.
Sarah's birthday is in a month that has 5 Thursdays.
I'm 32 years old. I have 4 kids, ages 9, 8, 6, and 3, and they are very busy and very active. I take my girls to dance once a week for an hour each, and then I take my son to karate 2 times a week. I'm out driving probably at least 4 or 5 times a day, back and forth. Ellie is my sweet little 3-year-old that is full of life, full of energy, full of just this sunshine, and she brings a lot of life to my life, but it takes so much energy to keep her entertained and to keep her happy. She stopped taking naps, and that was probably the saddest day of my life, because that was one time I could at least sit and focus, but now I don't have that, so I just try and be as positive and upbeat as I can. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I usually hit my wall about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I pack my mornings full of cleaning and errands and running, because I know that by 2 o'clock I just don't have the energy. My poor kids. At nighttime, when there's dishes and the kitchen's messy and the kids need to go to bed and homework needs to be done, I just run out of energy and I turn grumpy, and it's bed, 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 because that's all I can think about is when can I just finally let go and relax. I am willing to try anything to get a boost of energy. I just need some help getting through the day, and I need some help especially at night to get the kids to bed. And I don't want to put them to bed being grumpy. I want them to have good nights, and so I would love any help I can get and any energy suggestions that will help me just get through the day.
On a regular basis, probably on a daily basis, I have patients mentioning fatigue, weakness. One of the first things I ask them about is their sleep. Usually I recommend that adults get 7 hours of sleep at night. That's 7 hours of good quality sleep, not just 7 hours of laying in bed awake. I like to see them go to bed in a dark room, go to bed at the same time every night, and then try to get up at the same time every morning. So the second thing I would recommend is trying to have some personal time for yourself. It needs to be not just when you have a minute, because that's not enough. You should schedule it, make it a priority in your week, and hopefully make it chunks of time 2 or 3 times a week where you get a couple of hours to plan a lunch with some friends or maybe a girls' night out. The third thing I recommend is actually to exercise. It's recommended that patients exercise 150 minutes a week. That ends up being 30 minutes 5 days of the week, or you can maybe exercise an hour 3 days a week. Try to find things that you enjoy doing. An important part of living healthy and having more energy is eating right. Generally speaking, a Mediterranean diet, more fish and poultry and less red meat, has been shown to be much more healthy for you. It gives you more energy and it's heart protective for you. An underlying theme for all the advice that I give my patients is organizing their day. And when you organize your day, you're able to schedule your day to set up good habits. Your body's going to reward you with extra energy, better sleep, less stress. Likely you'll be happier and healthier.
Okay, so now we're all dying to know if the changes really worked. Our Fight Fatigue mom, as we've been calling her, Shawnee Adams, has been following doctor's orders for a couple of weeks now. She's joining us via Skype. Okay, Shawnee, I know one of your goals was you didn't want to be grumpy mom at the end of the night. Has that changed?
I hope so. I think it has. All this has helped me not be so exhausted, which in turn causes me to be irritable. So I think it has, and I've noticed a lot more energy and ability to make it through the night.
Good. We're so glad to hear that. I want to ask you, I know there were some significant lifestyle changes you were asked to incorporate the last couple of weeks. What was the hardest piece of advice to follow?
The hardest one was the personal time. Sometimes that's just not, it's just not available. But I'd find my early morning workouts, I'd find time for myself to think and to have a quiet home. But that was the hardest one. The other one was getting 7 hours of sleep. It sounds really good, but it's really hard, especially when you want to lay in bed and watch TV or talk to your husband, it's hard to get exactly 7 hours. So those two were the hardest ones for me.
Was there a piece of advice that as you look over the last couple weeks, you feel really made a key difference in the changes you've experienced?
Yeah, definitely. It was organizing my day. That was a huge difference. I used to just cram everything into the morning because I knew the afternoons I'd be exhausted. But as I spaced everything out and gave myself time kind of to have breathers and to relax, it made such a big difference.
Your family noticed that difference?
Yeah, they did. Even my kids said, "Mom, you're so much happier at night." And even I found after dinner, instead of wanting to just crash, I thought, let's go out and play. And I did definitely notice that there was more energy, and they noticed and they were happier, and it's just all around a better situation.
We are so happy to hear that. I think so many moms, as you were talking, I just noticed even here in the studio, people nodding, listening, agreeing with what you were saying. So I think we've all been able to learn through you. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Shani, we appreciate it. And we have more fight fatigue tips on our website. Of course, more fight fatigue tips coming at you all this month, thanks to our friends and partners with our Fight Fatigue campaign, Mountain Star Healthcare. We'll be right back with more on Studio 5.